I am so excited for this episode of Read Like a Booktuber. I've been waiting for this one. I've been waiting until May because Books with Lexie always does Escape the Readathon, and I participated last year. It was super fun. This is the most like stressful and chaotic one because you never know what you're gonna have to read for, and I'm just excited to read some of Lexie's favorite books. I feel like she always talks about horror and thriller books that I've never heard of, weren't on my radar, and I've liked a lot of them or loved a lot of them even. So I am very excited to do this.
I'm so excited to talk to you about my favorite books of 2024. So I do have my top 24 for the year. I read 208 books. I am gonna do some honorable mentions as well because I had 33 5 stars. So I didn't want to leave out those last couple ones because they deserve the attention as well. I'm not going to go over the synopsis of any of my honorable mentions though, because talking about that many books is too much. I did a few rereads.
Give me plenty to pick from, which is super nice.
The Hunger Games and Catching Fire. I didn't read.
Obviously, I've read those.
Made by Ali Hazelwood. This is a YA romance. Kill for Me, Kill for You by Steve Kavanaugh. This is a thriller. Puzzle House by Duncan Ralston. This is a horror novella.
One looks good.
Crossroads by Laurel Hightower.
I'd also read that.
Canyon Massacre by Christopher Robertson.
I'd also read that.
I'll Be Waiting by Kelly Armstrong. So those are my 5-star favorites that didn't quite make it into my top 24. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. A Step Past Darkness by Vera Kurian. Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintero. The last thriller is The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. Good Girls Don't Die by Christina Henry. Out of the Spectrum, a very sad book, In Excess of Dark by Red Lego. Another one that is sad. I just really brought the vibe down. It's fine, we'll get back to it. Jack and Jill by Keelan Patrick Burke. On a lighter note, Candy Cane Kills by Brian McCauley. Nothing happier than some Christmas. The final book before my top 15 is Antioch by Jessica Leonard. Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I'm Shocked. One of Our Own by Lucinda Berry. I have Alice in Borderland volumes 8 and 9. Witcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. Here's the thing.
I've already read that and loved it. It is really fun.
I didn't have super high hopes for this, and I was immediately sucked into the story. The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monica Kim.
That was my favorite horror from last year. That's an excellent pick.
We have The Day of the Door by Laurel Hightower. Then we have The Haunting of Velkwood by Gwendolyn Kist. This is one that's a little...
I just got that book. That's perfect. That's book 1 for my TBR.
We Used to Live Here by Marcus Klewer. This one made me so stressed.
I also love that one. That one's so good. It's so much fun, and I would definitely recommend the audiobook of it.
Diavola by Jennifer Thorne. This one was a huge surprise for me because I gave her book from the previous year 2 stars. This, oh my gosh. These people stress me out. They make me angry.
I just also bought this one because I'm pretty sure I remember Lexie talking about it. I'm very excited about it. I love that cover. I love a lot of Jennifer Thorne's covers, so hopefully the insides match the outsides with like the creepy factor.
Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle. Oh my gosh. This one made me so creeped out. The descriptions in Chuck Tingle's books are top tier. I felt this.
I have that one too. I got it from Aardvark, I think, last year. So, book 2 for the video for our TBR.
Knock Knock Open Wide by Neil Sharpson. This really...
That was such an easy 5-star for me. I love that book. If you're looking for folklore and sapphic horror, top tier.
Intercepts by TJ Payne. This caught me off guard. I did not really know this book existed until it was recommended to me. This was specifically recommended by Sarah from Wicked Reading.
I need to read that. I've been so excited about it. I've been hearing people talk about it. It's a sci-fi horror, and I'm pretty sure it's on Kindle Unlimited. I don't own it, so as long as not too many things end up on my physical TBR from this video going forward, that's on the TBR.
Appetite for Innocence by Lucinda Berry. This way we have The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay.
I have that one too, so I think that's the TBR. I'm pretty sure that's 5 books. This is the TBR. I'm not sure where my copy of Bury Your Gaze is. It's somewhere around here. I might have pulled it out for something, but I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited to get into it. And all of these books are kind of shorties, so that's also super convenient for me. And I guess, what am I gonna start with? I think The Haunting of Velkwood is really calling me, so let's get into that one. Hi, me again. I'm like a quarter of the way through The Haunting of Elkwood, and I'm already stressed. How far is a quarter of the way through it? Because I was listening to it. It's only like 50 pages, but it's reminding me a lot of Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, but Dark Places by Gillian Flynn I don't think was supernatural, and I think The Haunting of Elkwood is probably going to be, but this is about a woman in her 30s-ish who experienced a tragedy in her hometown and now is going back due to somebody who is like paying her to be there. It's a group that's very interested in this tragedy that happened, like crime junkie kind of vibes, but she went in to this neighborhood and is like experiencing the ghosts that live there that are all of like her family and friends, and she had a stopwatch for an hour. And she comes out thinking that she was in there for an hour, but no one is out there waiting for her. Like, she expected, like, all the scientists and stuff, and she's like, what the fuck? So she goes to the house that's near there that she was staying in, and the guy's name is Jack that is running the show. So Talitha, Jack says finally, and my name sounds like an apology, you've been gone for 3 months. So she thinks she was in there for an hour, but she was actually in there for 3 months. So time does not work the way that it is supposed to. And I'm super duper intrigued. I'm excited to keep going. And I'm liking the writing style so far. I think that this could totally be a 5-star book for me. And it's really just like landing with me. I'm super excited about it. And it's only like 240 pages. So this should go really, really quickly. I just got my Lumicrate package and I thought we could talk about the ending of The Haunting of Elkwood by Gwendolyn Keist while I opened my Lumicrate package, because there was so much about this book that I liked. I liked so much of it. I guess it's really, really short, but there was so much of it that I did like, and I'm just disappointed by the ending, which is so sad. Spoilers for The Haunting of Elkwood, the ending of it. It ended, like, happy, and I needed it to not end happy. I needed it to be, like, sacrificial or darker, and it just wasn't, it didn't go quite as far as I needed it to. Like, is it still 4 stars for me? I think so. I'm, like, between a 3.75 and a 4. Because I liked so much of the book and like so much about the book, but the ending was just not quite what I was picturing or hoping from the ending of it, but most of it was so good. Ooh, what's this for? It's an ancient archaeology plant pot, and it's inspired by What the River Knows, which I have not read. And this is inspired by Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan, which I don't think I'll ever read, but it's a jade dragon bow replica. That's really cool. This is really cool, but like also what do I do with this? This is a buy a book decision coin. I don't need that in any shape or form. And it's always yes. Oh my gosh, I'll do it for you. I'll let you know if you should buy a book. You can't buy a book, sorry. And we have a satin pillowcase. I'm not crazy about this month's goodies. I'm probably not even gonna open this because like, I don't need this, but I did want the book. Oh my God, that's stunning. I knew I was going to keep this. I'm like halfway through the arc that I have, and I'm liking it enough to keep this for sure. This is so pretty. It's not signed, which is a little annoying. And, ooh, okay. Lumicrate never does reversible dust jackets, but I feel like they should. But this, I love this. There's really pretty cover art. Ooh. My final rating of The Haunting of Elkwood, I think I'm only giving it a 3.75, which is a bummer, because I really liked the first half of it, but that's just how it goes sometimes. So I guess I'll talk about what I'm reading next. I'm just about to make dinner, but I'm a third of the way through Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Dingle, and I want to give my thoughts for it before I got too far, because it's like very short. It's under 300 pages, and it's about this movie TV writer person, and he is kind of being forced into killing off the gay characters of his show, and he is also queer, and he's like, no, I'm not doing that. His boss or whoever controls him basically is like, okay, I'll see you in court, which is just like a wild thing to say. He's also like grew up not getting the queer characters that are so clearly queer and about to have these like romantic moments, and then they get sidestepped because that's just like not what happened. and he doesn't want to kill off his queer characters. He's like very known for his queer horror. But then once, like the same day that this happens, he starts getting stalked by one of the bad guys from one of his horror movies, but like in real life. And it's clearly not like a real person. It feels very supernatural, and more of the bad guys from his horror movies start showing up in his life. And there's like 2 people in his friend group, so there's like 3 of them, and they're all getting stalked: his boyfriend and then his friend that also works with him. And it's very stressful. It's very creepy. Like, I couldn't imagine being stalked by something that I created in my mind, and I know how horrible it could be. So I'm interested to see where this goes, and I like the writing so far. I know Chuck Tingle also wrote Camp Damascus, but I have never read that, and I've heard that people are a little bit disappointed by this after reading Camp Damascus, so I'm glad I'm reading this first, and it's going well. Okay, I'm like halfway through Bury Your Gaze now, and it has something that I really love in horror books, and that's the significant other immediately believing them and just being like, what can we do? Let's make a big game plan. Let's try and survive this, instead of wasting time not believing them. And I get it. Sometimes that's super realistic, but I just love when you love someone, so you just like implicitly trust them and are willing to help. So that's what's happening in this book, and I'm really appreciating that. Misha's boyfriend Zeke immediately believes him, even though he's like a science-based human, is like, what can we do with all of your horror creations coming to life? And so far we've had, I don't remember what the horror creations are called. One of them is like Cigarette Man or something. And he asks for a light for his cigarette, and if you don't give him a light, he, like, however many days later, he'll rip your bones out, like your spine through your back, ground them up and smoke them, which is so hardcore, but there's like no beating him. And then there's another being that when she touches you, she like shows you all the secrets of the universe, and your brain is basically, your brain dead. And her weakness is that she has to follow rules and follow orders, so you can't just be like, hey, get away from me. But for example, they were on the plane, so when the stewardesses, flight attendants are like, hey, you need to sit down because the seatbelt sign is on, she's like, just goes and does that. And Misha has kind of figured out, or at least the reader has kind of figured out, I don't think Misha has quite gotten it through his skull, that the characters that are coming to life are not necessarily the ones he's written, but the ones that made it to the final screen based off of like the production studio's final word. So what he's going through at the beginning of the book is that he's being forced to kill off these characters by the production studio, and I think that it's going to be either him or Zeke that gets killed because of this, and he hasn't realized this. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what I think is going to happen, and it's stressing me out because he thinks he's kind of solved this because he's giving the production studio what it wants, but we're only halfway through the book, and even Misha's like, this feels too easy. This can't be it, and it's just like definitely not. I'm stressed for everybody though, and I'm really liking this so far. It's very fun. It's just a very fun horror, and I have grown to like the LA setting, so we'll see. We've also gotten some of Misha's backstory, which is like really tragic. He grew up in a really conservative Montana town and had his first queer experience, and it went really, really wrong, and he went to a high school reunion where he kind of tried to talk to this person and completely ignored him, which is really sad. And Misha's just like kind of struggling with his identity once he gets back to that town. But now we're back in LA, so I guess we're gonna see what happens. I don't know if Montana's gonna come back to this. I imagine that we'll see his childhood crush, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what else happens. I finished Bury Your Gaze, and I feel like there was just like one too many twists for me to totally love this book. Like, I like the ending, and I'm glad it ended the way that it did. The twist of the producer and like the robots and the aliens going the other way and being like too corporate gay was fine. And then the twist after that, I was just kind of like, okay, but I did like the ending. I'm glad it ended happy. I wanted a happy ending for our characters, obviously. And I think I'm going to give it like a 4. I'm not obsessed with it, but I do like Chuck Tingle's writing and like what he had to say about being queer in the film industry, and having all of this was a pretty big cast for narration, because every once in a while one of the monsters would be narrating, and it was narrated like a screenplay, and there were characters and like there were a bunch of different voices, and I like that part about it. As far as the audiobook goes, like when it was from the perspective of a villain, it was like a screenplay, so that was pretty cool. And I really like this cover. I'm glad that it was a 4-star and it'll be like staying on my shelves and stuff. Like I like it enough for that. Also, it's an aardvark book, so it's beautiful on the inside too. I think that I'm going to start Diavala next, and I will let future Madison, who has actually started this book, tell you a little bit about it. Good morning. I look like a wet rat because I just got out of the shower, but I started Diavala this morning and it's making me so angry. This is about a woman, Erin. I don't remember. I can never remember the main character's name because usually like in their inner monologue, they're not like referring to themselves as their name if it's in first person, so it's hard for me to remember. She is on this family vacation in Italy. She's there with her parents, and all of her and her siblings are adults. Like she's 35, I think. And everyone kind of sucks. Her sister, who like doesn't seem to like being a mom and also doesn't really like her husband, and then her brother, I think, who is her fraternal twin, also is like the golden child and gets away with the same things that she doesn't get away with. And everyone just kind of sucks. They're at this creepy house where they are like hearing things and seeing things that aren't there. And also Miss Girl Anna, I want to say Anna, is the only one that speaks Italian, and they're all using her despite having access to like apps and stuff. Like it's current present day. The kids, the 2 daughters, are absolutely seeing like Italian children ghosts. I don't think that can end up well, and are all of a sudden kind of like gaining or like learning Italian. So it's all very creepy, but mostly I've just been frustrated with her family and absolutely feeling for her because they are just like treating her like she is a naughty 15-year-old. And it's, as someone who is over double that age, I'm sure it's very frustrating for her. I'm very frustrated for her. And Italy should be beautiful and a wonderful time, and it's just not. I'm at the point where like if bad things start happening to her family members, I'm not really going to care. I am excited for like true horror to start because so far it's been creepy but not horrific. I'm ready for the horrific. I'm only like a third in, so I'm not surprised that it's not horrific yet. We're setting up the Italian countryside scene, but I'm ready for it to be horrific. Okay, I'm like this far-ish into Diavala. Every time I try and look up the cover for this book, it's pizza. So, I don't know. But they got out of the villa. Oh my god, her family, Anna's family, pissed me off so bad. They just were so antagonistic to her for no reason. Obviously, she could be an unreliable narrator, but from what we know as the reader, her family sucks super hard, and they're pissing me off, and I feel really bad for Anna. And nobody is taking her side at all. Like, one thing that she was talking about was that she had gotten an abortion and told her brother, and it was like, hey, can you not tell anybody? And then her brother told her sister, and her sister made it about her. And Anna ended up apologizing to her sister, which is crazy. That's just bizarre to me. Kind of upsetting, to be honest. And about 2/3 of the way through the book, they are getting out of the villa. Like, all of the spooky stuff has happened, and they managed to get out. And the one thing that Anna did that she wasn't supposed to do was touch this key that unlocks this secret door because one of the girls ended up behind it somehow. So she touched it to unlock it, and she had to. Obviously not good. Obviously doing the one thing that you're not supposed to do in like a haunting situation, obviously that's not going to go well for you. But they get out, they get home. Anna specifically gets to Manhattan where she lives. But we still have a third of the book left. So obviously it's not over. Anna's thinking it's over. But then all the haunting stuff starts up in her apartment, and that's where I'm at right now. And it's like, damn, this is not going to go well for you, girly pop, and I am so sorry about it. I hate her family so bad, though. Other than her 2 nieces, they all suck, and they all could die, honestly. Then that would be fine with me. I'm going to probably finish this up tonight, and I will give you my final thoughts and ratings. Sorry if the fan is loud, but I just wanted to give you my final thoughts on Diavala. I really liked it. It reminded me of Come Closer by Sarah Gran, but with like very different vibes, just kind of like that possession and the descent into madness story. I loved the ending of it. I thought it was really good. I feel like it felt like a very satisfying ending because Anna just kind of got to like stick it to a couple people like I wanted her to, whether she was possessed or not, and she ended up going back to Italy and kind of like sticking it to this ghost, and I think I'm giving this a 4.5. It was so close to a 5. I don't even know what would have made it a 5. Maybe if it got like a little bit darker, if people got a little bit more grievously injured by this ghost. And also adult Waverly is trying to contact her, and I love that because I really liked her nieces. I liked her nieces a lot, and like none of it was their fault, so it was super good and I liked it. So on to the next book. So I started the Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay, and the fun thing about this is that it's like a teen writing, kind of like it's like his journal or like a memoir style of stuff, but his friend from his childhood is like annotating it and giving her 2 cents. And I'm pretty sure that Art Barbara is the person that's writing about his life, and then Mercy is the girl that is his friend that is just like commenting on it. And it's such a classic 80s dynamic of super nerdy guy and like kind of punk girl, and I'm having so much fun with it. I'm loving it so far. I don't know why the ratings are so low. I'm loving it so far. It's not like a horror. I'm not horrified, but I'm having a great time. It's more about 2 kids that are obsessed with like rock music and horror movies and stuff like that. And it's fun because it feels like both of them are unreliable narrators, because it's hard to decide what is more unreliable, being a teenager or hindsight. And it's just told so well, and there's like this sense of humor with it. And Art is clearly, like, they talk about his scoliosis a lot, but he clearly has like some greater disease. And I think it's probably going to be like cancer in his spine or something, and Mercy doesn't know this from what I can tell. All we know about Mercy is what is told through Art's lens as a teenager, and we're also learning more about Art, and it's just, I love the way that it's told. It's very readable. It's not like a horror movie. It's just kind of like almost like an 80s rom-com is what it's giving so far, and as someone who likes both, that's great for me. But if you're expecting something horrific, that's like not what this is at all. And I'm really liking it. I'm liking it a lot. I don't know that this would ever be a 5, but I could totally see it being like a really solid 4. So I'm excited to continue. I'm gonna paint my nails, and that's just kind of where I'm at. I'm like 75% of the way into the Pallbearers Club now, and we've gotten to the point where they're adults now. They're like in their 40s. When Art was still in high school and still in their teens and stuff, Mercy is such like a manic pixie dream girl archetype, and it's specifically the way that Art writes her, and that's just like I think how he sees her. She had this cute little orange car. She never answered a personal question about herself, and she was so mysterious. And the Pallbearers Club, the name of the novel, was because in high school he created this club where they were pallbearers for people who didn't have anybody to come to their funeral, which is a crazy premise for a club. But pre these funerals, Mercy would take pictures, which is just so morbid. And they eventually became friends and hung out, and that's kind of how they connected. And then Art has this scoliosis problem, like a pretty severe one, and had to get surgery. And Mercy just like showed up in his basement, and because they weren't talking, and was like, hello, how's it going? And scared the shit out of him. And he sees her as this like supernatural vampiric being, and at this point in his adulthood he thinks that she has turned him into a vampire. She has caused all this sickness that he has, but he has like Marfan syndrome. Like, he knows this, and that affects his heart among a lot of other things in his body. He's just like a chronically ill dude, and he has put her up on this pedestal. And we as a reader, because we are getting Mercy's commentary on everything, don't really think that this is true. I personally am on Mercy's side. It would be a twist to me if she was supernatural in any way, but it also really wouldn't make any sense. And now we're getting to the end of Art's parents' lives, and we're getting very much to the end of the story. I do think that this is going to end with his death. I don't see how it couldn't. I'm very intrigued, and it is like this just slow slice of life story, but it's so absurdly told because it's like his memoir, but it feels like he's changed so much of it that it's like a book at this point. And Mercy keeps talking about how it's a novel, not a biography, and I'm just interested to see where it goes. I think that this could be a 5 stars at this point. I'm really, really liking it. I was tearing up at a couple points. I was giggling and kicking my feet at a couple points, and I just want to know what happens to these characters. And at this point, I would read another book about them, but I don't think that really makes sense in the context of this story. It also breaks my heart because Art and Mercy, like, lost touch for the later 20 years of their lives. And they could have been such great friends, but just because of circumstances and things that happened, it just didn't work out that way. And, like, Art's life hasn't been great. He's kind of been down on his luck the entire time. For a variety of reasons. He had to drop out of college, and none of the bands that he's joined have really worked out. He is just kind of suffering, and it's pretty sad, honestly. But, like, I'm still really enjoying it. So let's finish this up, and then I'll give you my final rating. I have such good news. It is late, and I need to go to bed, but I wanted to talk about the end of the Pallbearers Club first. This is a perfect book. I don't know why the ratings are so low. This, excellent. I loved the ending, made the book for me. The way the ending was heading, I was like, this, okay, I actually might think this is a 3.75. It's fine. We get to see a little bit into Art's kind of like drug abuse a little bit because of his pain, and he seems extra unreliable, and we're not really sure how much we can even trust from him anymore. And Mercy seems like a significantly more reliable character. The ending, I don't want to spoil this, so I'm not going to go more into the ending, but you just need to read it, and you need to read it until the very last page. It's so good, and I liked it so much. I still really wouldn't call this like a horror book. I think it's technically a psychological thriller, which is not really my bag, but this was so good. I like this so much. Rereading this, I would want to try and pick up on things too, but it's just so excellent. And I'm so surprised because I was a little worried about the 3.3 rating on Goodreads. I was worried because sometimes when the people that I like and take recommendations from, when they really love something, but most people don't, I don't always agree with them. But this was absolutely it. I totally get why people love this. And I honestly don't really get why people hate it. I think they're wrong, but this is absolutely a win. I don't know if it's a 5-star, but it's a 4.5 star for sure. And I don't think that this is something that I'm going to be able to like widely recommend. It's just not that kind of book. But if you are going to like this, you're really going to like it. So on to the next one, I guess. This vlog is going very well. I'm liking most of these books, so that's just so great. On to the next. I'm 25% of the way done with Intercepts, and it's so good. I will be shocked if this isn't my favorite one of the vlog, and it's definitely making my top 10 horror of the year for sure. I was highlighting the entire first chapter. I'm gonna read you 2 little chunks. I want to read you the whole thing, but like that makes no sense. I scream, not from pain, but because my ears can't hear what I say. And so I scream louder. I'm shouting. I'm telling myself to shriek any pitch, any frequency that might penetrate my dead ears. And also, I do not know how long I have been here, been like this, unfeeling. I am no longer tethered to the concept of space and time. I remember that I am somebody, or was somebody, but I do not remember who. It's so good, it's so creepy. It just starts off with just like a punch to the face. And I personally think a deprivation chamber or something similar would be absolutely terrifying. I think that I could not handle it for more than like 10 seconds. So something like this is truly terrifying to me. And then they just throw you into the first chapter or like the prologue, and then once the story gets going, we're following a specific person. There's this facility for things they call antennas or intercepts, and they're people, and they are chained up and kind of just like writhe around, not having any, I think, somatic sensory feelings is what they said. So like they can't hear, taste, touch, or feel. And there's this supervisor of this facility, and we're mostly following him. We get introduced to this facility by one of the people that, they're basically CNAs. They clean these people because they're like in diapers. They can't like do anything or feed themselves, and they don't follow protocol because they have a hot date to get to, and they don't re-secure one of their limbs while they're cleaning them. Supposedly not being able to see or anything digs a hole through their body. They basically have hazmat suits and like a breathing tank when they go in, and this person had like ripped through their breathing apparatus, so they breathed in the air and became basically like non-responsive while they were digging through, and that's how they were able to do that. And this guy is like dealing with this when he gets a call that his ex-wife committed suicide, and he has to go pick up his daughter, and he lives in these like remote Virginia woods. And as he's picking up his daughter and taking her to his house and just like trying to deal with this grief and tragedy that his 16-year-old is going through, she sees someone in a white gown who looks very similar to this person that just dug through this human, and is experiencing her saying these things, but no one else can see her. Very, very creepy so far. I'm very much enjoying it. I'm on the edge of my seat. This is what I want from a thriller. I know that this is more of a horror book, but this is exactly what I want from a thriller. I want to be tense from page one. It doesn't need to be like online recipes where there is like 3 backstories. I want to be tense from page one. This is going very well, and I'm just like, I just want to read it all the time. I need to know what's going on. And it's on Kindle Unlimited, which is great. I quite literally read until I couldn't read Intercepts last night. I have like an hour left according to my Kindle. It's so good. It's still so good. Joe is the supervisor of this Intercept facility, and Riley, his daughter, had to come live with him because his ex-wife killed herself, which is very out of character for her, but also she's his ex-wife, so like he doesn't know. He doesn't know what she's going through right now. But then when he takes Riley home, she starts seeing things. She starts seeing this very specific intercept that has just killed someone recently. And this intercept is showing her all awful things, and also things that have actually happened that she shouldn't know. And it's because the intercept is all in their heads, and it's so creepy. It's very creepy, and I'm stressed the whole time I'm reading it, and it's great. But Joe has allowed a scenario to happen where this intercept can kill herself, but then the intercept right before she kills herself teaches all the other intercepts in this facility how to kind of like control Riley. And so Joe's like, okay, I have to take care of it. This is DEFCON 1 now, and he is going to do anything for his daughter. Very much like classic action movie style. I would do anything for my daughter vibes. And now I have an hour left, so I'm going to finish it. I am going to drink my coffee. I just got the Nespresso strawberry and white chocolate pods. I haven't had those before. Should you do a little taste test? I think that putting the creamer in that I don't like is not doing the most for these pods, but I think I like them. But if you don't like sweet coffee, they're not for you. I prefer sweet coffee. Okay, let's get into Intercepts. I finished Intercepts, and yeah, it's 5 stars. This is so good. The ending was perfect. I thought the ending was so perfect. Did I clock it after like the prologue and first chapter? Yes, but I still thought it was excellent. That was so good. And the absolute terror of not knowing what's real and not knowing if it's like an intercept putting this idea or this vision into your mind is absolutely terrifying. The loss of autonomy is absolutely terrifying. And I actually think that there could be a sequel to this book, and I would read it in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me? This is so good. I need this to be a movie so that I can go watch it in a theater. I love everything about this. The ending was perfect. It was like bleak with a little bit of sparkle of happy ending, but still pretty bleak. There was so much carnage. There was a lot of like unsettlingness. I think something smiling and dead-eyed staring at you is just so terrifying to me. And with that, the vlog is over. I read 5 books, and they were all on Lexie's best. And at the end of the day, I don't think any of these were bad books. I think that this is my best for this series as far as like average of all of the books, because I didn't have a single 3-star. I had a 4.5, a 4.25, another 4.5. This one was almost a 3, but I'm going to give it a 4, I think. And intercepts was a 5. I put this at a really solid 89, which I don't think is first, but it's not last. So this was a very successful vlog. I read 4 books off of my physical TBR, which was great because that absolutely needs to happen. And I had an excellent time. Thank you so much for being here if you made it this far. If you have a booktuber that you love, let me know because I may need more for this series. We'll see. And I want to check out more booktubers always anyways. And if you made it this far, please leave me, ooh, is there like a handprint or a hand emoji for intercepts? And I will see you in the next one. Bye.